Hello everyone, welcome back to Caesar's Snack Sandwiches. Today I'm back on PancakeSwap taking a look at the Alpha token. Yesterday I made a video about the TW token and I thought, I wasn't going to bother with this Alpha token, but I was just going to keep farming TWT. But today I spent the day looking at the Alpha token and what it portrays and what it has and what are its features, and I decided to move my entire stake over to Alpha. So why have I done this? And what is Alpha? What do they do? So when you go to the project site here, it leads you to the Alpha Finance Labs homepage, and what it seems to be is that they are a dApp producer. They produce applications and they want to try to create cross liquidity and cross-chain DeFi, and I don't know what Maximize Alpha is. Currently they have 2 projects in the works and a third one coming soon or whatever. So the first one is Alpha Lending. This one I'm going to take a deep dive into this. And Alpha Homora. Now this is actually live and usable on the Ethereum network. A friend of mine, Gabriel Haynes, he's planning on doing a video. His videos are done very well, so I will let him to explain it, but I'll give you a quick little explanation what it is just by looking at the overview of it. So what it is it's basically a site where you automatically puts liquidity from your Ether in your wallet directly into these Uniswap pools or this index pool, and it takes normally you would put your tokens into the Uniswap pool, and it would give you an LP token, and then you would stake that LP token somewhere. But what this does is you use Ethereum to go straight into the pool. It takes your LP token, stakes it so that it will start gaining Uni. It automatically sells your Uni and applies it back into the pool. And at the same time, it gives you some high yields. Basically rewards you with Alpha tokens. Now how much, I'd have to switch over to the Ethereum network. So I switch over to the Ethereum network and you'll see it's about 60% for this pool, 76% for this pool, and so forth. You can see the percentages here. Now the key thing about this is it allows you to leverage your input. So if you want to say put whatever, let's say half an ETH, you can decide to leverage it times 2. So it's going to put an entire ETH. So 1/2 of your ETH, it's going to also give you, I don't know where it says it, but it's basically leveraging it times 2. So it give you another half ETH. So, but there's risk, it more easily to get liquidated. I'll let Gabriel explain this more in detail because he's going to do it anyways. So keep a watch out for him here. If his video is live at any time, I will try to link it in the description live. So back to the Alpha project. Since he's going to talk about the Homora, I'm going to look at the Lend today. Now the Lend is not actually live. If you try to launch the app, you get sent to, let's launch it. Let's see it. It tells you to connect to the Binance Smart Chain test network, but I'm not going to do that right now because I don't have any money on the test network, and I'm not going to bother with it. But what I will look at is the white paper. So what is this protocol? It says a decentralized pool-based lending protocol driving cross-chain DeFi and cross-chain liquidity. So what does that mean? Basically, it's kind of like an Aave for cross-chain. It wants to connect Ethereum and Binance Smart Chain together. So basically, you'll have lenders and you will have borrowers, and they will each be giving, they will be providing interest to each other and to the Alpha lending protocol. So if we go down through the white paper, go to the first thing, depositors. Depositors will deposit their assets into the protocol. It'll adjust the interest rate to portray that this asset's liquidity has increased, thus therefore the interest rate should go down. It increases the total liquidity of the pool, and it mints you some AL tokens, which are basically your IOU tokens that you can use to reclaim your your liquidity when it comes time. And you will, of course, be gaining. These are interest-bearing tokens, so after you deposit, after some time, you want to cash these AL tokens back in, they will give you more of your underlying asset back. Transfer underlying asset to the pool and it's done. So depositors, these are the people who want to give their liquidity and gain interest. Then we have borrowers, which are the opposite. They want to borrow liquidity from the pool and pay interest for the borrowing of that liquidity. Now, of course, they do have to create collateral, so they would also have to supply a different asset to that liquidity program in order to borrow another asset. And there are, like, different assets are going to give different amount of allowance of borrowing. That's all pretty much covered in later on. So to update the interest rate, so as you borrow, the interest rate goes up because more people have more demand and interest rate goes up. If there's enough liquidity, if there's not enough liquidity, it tells you can't do it. And if there is, you borrow the new assets and you start to owe for it. When it comes time you want to withdraw, you sell back your AL token. As long as there's enough liquidity in the pool, they will check the health of your status on because you can't withdraw your liquidity if you still owe from some other borrowing. So you have to they will check to make sure your borrowing health is not you're not unhealthy. You don't owe too much money before you can pull your collateral out. So you'd have to pay back the loans before you could pull your collateral out. To a certain amount, to a certain percentage, of course. And then it'll burn those AL tokens and give you back your liquidity. Anytime you want, you can repay, of course. I assume, it doesn't say quite in here, and I wasn't able to find it, but I assume you'll be able to pay partial. Like if you borrow 300 ETH and you have 100 ETH and you want to give it back, so you'll only owe 200 ETH and you'll be paying interest on 200 ETH and so forth. And the last one, liquidation. Of course, this is a problem for everyone. If your collateral's value decreases too much, then you won't have enough collateral rate in order to cover your loan, so then you will lose it. They will liquidate your loan. Okay, so I don't want to get into all the really, really, really fine details, but because it's not even live yet, right? The protocol architecture. Well, this is just basically the system, the users, the things they can do with the protocol. The Oracle, the prices of those assets have to come from some Oracle. It hasn't announced what this Oracle is going to be, whether it be Chainlink or whatever. I have no idea. And then also the AL token distribution and minting of these tokens. That's about it. There's, of course, there's risks and stuff, but this is just a quick little view over what the alpha lending is. But it's clear. It's basically, like I said, Aave or something along that lines, where you would use collateral to borrow other assets in order to perhaps use those assets somewhere else. Maybe you want to avoid selling your tokens because you want to maintain exposure to them. Like, for example, let's say you had Bitcoin and you didn't want to sell your Bitcoin because you think it's going to go up eventually, but you want to use that value to do something so you could borrow against it. So there's a lot of these programs and a lot of these protocols coming out and stuff, but this one seems to be the first one that's going to be cross-chain with Binance Smart Chain. So what does the alpha actual token do? If we look at the value of the token in the last, let's 14 days. It's dropped quite a bit. It's down pretty low, but it's gone from 63 cents down to 40 cents, so down 20 cents. It's not too bad, but this is the governance token for the alpha program. Now it does talk in here about what the governance token is for. So let's see if right here. Governance Alpha Token. Alpha Token will act as a core utility token across the platform of Alpha products. So Alpha products is like what I said. Right now they have the two. They have the Alpha Homora and the Alpha Lending. including staking, reward sharing through providing liquidity to the securing the protocol. So there's going to be several uses for it apparently, as well as governances for the alpha lending particularly. For the alpha lending, so governance as well, so voting on stuff, alpha lending particularly, there will be a liquidity mining program. So yeah, there's some chances for you to gain alpha tokens through liquidity. So both here, by farming these, you're going to get alpha tokens on top of your increase in your LP values, or the locked-in value of these volts, so to speak. As well as, I assume there will be some sort, in the alpha lending, there will be some sort of reward system paid off in alpha. As alpha rewarding finances continues to innovate the DeFi space, more products, so there will be more chances. Like there's going to be more alpha products, and the alpha token is going to function with these other products as well. So this is something that I find is quite unique. There's a company or a lab, Alpha Labs Finance, that are producing several different products, and they're all using this alpha program. Supporters creating strong community. Now, so so that's it. So that's pretty much it for the alpha token. So that's why I've decided to swing my entire SERP roll over to farming alpha. And not to mention, alpha is pretty much almost over. It's only got 56 blocks. I don't know how long that's going to take to finish, but if it says circulating supply 100 million, and there's going to be 1 billion, max supply 1 billion. So there's still quite a bit to go. We're only at 175 million, and there are 1 billion to go. So there's still a lot of tokens to go. So I don't see the value of this shooting high. But if there is staking and other utility, maybe you can pay some fees somewhere along the lines. I think it's worth mining, and I highly believe that it's going to be much more valuable than the TWT token, which I was farming before. I still hold these tokens in my wallet, but I'm thinking about selling them for just back to BNB so I can pay fees and stuff like that. So that's about it for today. I know I went through pretty quick, but I hope you like it. Thank you, and goodbye.